Hey everyone, welcome to our video series, Canal Days, and thanks for joining us for today's episode of the St. Thomas Cemetery, located in Palmer, Massachusetts. I am your host, Carrie, here with my co-host, local historian, and founder of the Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Comu. As your personal tour guide, Robert will lead you through some of the most iconic sites and their legends of historic significance. Throughout New England's preeminent and pivotal state of Massachusetts. With his expert insights, every monument and memorial story comes to life. Afterwards, don't forget to check out his website, holyokecanaltour.org, to access the full Canal Days video and podcast series. Also, check out his free in-person public tours he offers throughout Western Mass and the 2025 schedule for these special events. You can also book personalized private tours for groups of all sizes, tailored to your interest. To discover all that and much more, remember to log on to holyokecanaltour.org. So, Robert, can you tell us what year the cemetery was originally formed?
It was formed in the year 1864, which is very early on for a Catholic cemetery. So it's one of the originals, like the age of a little older than St. Michael's and a little older than St. Jerome's Cemetery in Holyoke. And there were two predecessor cemeteries in Springfield, so those came first, but this came along. And that's because Palmer is a mill town, and lots of Catholics came in to fill up the jobs. And so what we're going to do is we're going to drive around the cemetery, and then a little bit of walk around, and I'll introduce you to it. And there is a nice map on the front gate of it. They have a wrought iron gate here. It's very nice. And a stone wall. And even the neighbors across the street have a stone wall. So it makes it all very nice. Names, St. Thomas Cemetery on it. And there's section numbers on poles throughout the cemetery. This is a cemetery on a hill. So you got to keep that in mind. Now the very oldest part is the part on our right hand side. So the 1866 burials onwards are going to be up this small hill and then off to the right. And there's not many gravestones, probably didn't have many, they're too poor, or they just wore themselves right out. Okay, you're going to mostly see Catholic names, and of course, especially of Irish and from Quebec. That makes total sense there. Now, the cemetery on three gridded patterns, we did the leftmost one, and now what we're going to do is go off to the central one, and then last third. And so we see here a great view from the top of the hill, lots of nice trees, everything's in a straight line pattern. This is definitely a lawn style cemetery. Lots of Irish names you see, but once in a while you see names from Quebec. There is a beautiful area up top with a bench in place. Okay, and then on this section here, this is the more modern section. So as you go up towards the left was old, towards the right was the very modern sections. Okay, and then now we're going to sweep towards the middle section, and that section should have burials more from the early part of the 1900s. So there is a division between the years these were put in. Most of the burials are with monumental stones. Now you see one cross went up there, I'll go see it, but you also see here a tomb. And so that's what I'm going to get out and take you on a trip to a tomb in a Catholic cemetery, which is not very usual at all. Okay, very unusual to see these in Catholic cemeteries, and you can tell it's a very old cemetery if it has one of these in a Catholic cemetery. Says above on a plaque, Branch Donahue Memorial Vault, restored 2003. I bet you they made it very early on in history, probably in the 1860s, or at least the latter part of it. So you got a very unusual situation here. And I'll go up on this hill behind it and show you what's around. Okay, so here you find at least one priest or reverend, the Reverend Joseph Clifford Fenton, STD, 1906, and ordained 1930, died 1969. So you have some different stones up here compared to the other sections, and here's probably the biggest one of all. And you can see on the very top here, you have nice views of the area. Okay, like all cemeteries, make sure you drive around and enjoy the scenery as much as possible. Sure, this is a log-style cemetery, but there's a lot of trees planted around here. It, like most cemeteries, tries to beautify itself. Now, it's naturally on curving ground, undulating ground, so these hills make it look fairly distinctive. Okay, and thank you very much for coming along.